regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting of April 23rd, 2014. May we have a roll call, please?
It's noted for the record that all commissioners are present with the exception of Tim Wilkes,
Thank you.
who has an excused absence.
There you go. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance. I pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll go right to Section C, which is public comments, and public comments is an opportunity to address the Planning Commission on items of interest to the public that do not appear on the agenda. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes. The Commission may not take action on items raised during public comment. Okay.
Public comments? Okay.
Oh, okay. So we'll go right, is there a motion to adopt the meeting agenda as presented?
Motion to
Okay, is there a second? Yes, I'll second it. So the meeting adoption, the agenda has been adopted. There's no communication or correspondence.
No.
If there are no corrections to the minutes, they will stand. Okay. We have 2 items in Section G under new business. First item is the grade cellars, P2014-4. It's consideration of a use permit to establish private wine tastings within an existing 1,200 square foot commercial space located at 1236 Lincoln Avenue. That's APN 011-253-001. With that, may we have a...
Sure. Thank you, Chairman Manfredi, members of the Commission. The property at 1236 Lincoln Avenue is a 2-story commercial project. Its downstairs is currently occupied by the Calistoga kitchen, which is a restaurant, and the upstairs is currently used by the grade cellars. It's a 1,200 square foot office space. Scott, you may be familiar with it as your business used to occupy that space. The grade has been occupying administrative offices in this location since June of 2012. They have been simply working computer, phone, and fax and administrative services for their off-site winery. They would like to provide a client service, which is wine tasting, when their clients come to purchase wine, and generally off-site sales. They'd like to provide the service of tasting the wine prior to purchase. And so they've requested this use permit, asking for by appointment only wine tasting services. Other than that, we are recommending approval with our standardized conditions addressing our recently adopted grape sourcing regulations. If you recall, the grape sourcing requires that the wine poured on site be 75% Napa Valley or a winery within the 94515 zip code. Currently, the grade cellars does comply with those grape sourcing regulations, although they are included in the resolution if ever they move and somebody else occupies the space and continues this entitlement. With that, if there's any questions of the Planning Commission, I can answer those now. Thank you.
Okay, do any commissioners have any questions of staff? Okay, we will open it up to the public if anyone would like to address the commission on this item.
I'll speak to you for a minute.
Oh, sure. You have to give your name and address.
My name is Brenda Mixon, and my office address is 1236 Lincoln Avenue. My residence is 1505 Stockton Street in St. Helena. My husband and I have the grade cellars. We've been in business as the grade cellars since 2004. However, we bought our vineyard, which is right at the end of the Old Toll Road and Highway 29 in 1997. We have 12 acres and grapes, and we sell most of our fruit to other wineries. But in 2004, we started making wine. We are currently crushing at Tamber Bay. Our winemaker lives in Calistoga, and we've been very involved in the Calistoga community since we purchased our vineyard. And we're very small right now. We make less than 800 cases of wine, so we don't anticipate a lot of traffic, but we think that we'll have, customers that will be coming from other areas, spending time in Calistoga. We'd like to be able to have them make an appointment and come and taste our wine. And so we think this is a good location to do that, and we hope that you'll give us positive consideration.
Okay, while the applicant is there, do any commissioners have any questions? Okay, thank you. If we do, we'll ask you to come.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no one else, we will close the public portion and open it up to discussion, if any. Any comment?
Just a quick question. Would it be existing customers then, I would assume, or could anybody who's aware of it call and make an appointment, like a planning commissioner who wanted to taste your wine?
Anyone who would be aware of it could call and make an appointment, and we would try to appoint.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, I have nothing to add. I think it's a good use of that space. So with that, Carol, would you like to make a motion?
I move that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution approving a use permit to establish private wine tasting within existing 1,200 square foot commercial space located at 1236 Lincoln Avenue.
Second?
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Good luck. Thank you. Thanks. Sorry, Pat.
Eric has a softball game he has to get to.
So we'll move on to our second item under new business, and this is a zoning ordinance amendment, ZOA 2014-2. It's a consideration recommending to the City Council decision and replacement of Calistoga Municipal Code, Chapter 17.02, Administrative Provisions, and adoption of a new Chapter 17.03, Zoning. So with that, may we have a staff report, please?
Thank you. The City Council is considering amendments to the General Appeals chapter in the Municipal Code, and we noticed that there is a section covering Planning Commission appeals, and since the only thing that can be appealed to the Planning Commission are items in the zoning title, we felt we would live more comfortably there rather than in the General Appeals chapter, which covers all kinds of appeals in the Municipal Code. So we suggested the council that it be moved to Title 17, and they agreed to that. And the most likely place to put it was Chapter 17.02, which is administrative provisions. Of course, while we're in there, we noticed there's a whole bunch of stuff, provisions related to zoning, the zoning map and how you amend the zoning code. And we felt that those are all mixed up together with just general administrative provisions, and we are suggesting that we create a separate new zoning code chapter 1703, which would be zoning. And you have some red line copies and then clean copy attached to the resolution. No significant changes. Usually in most zoning ordinances, there is a standalone chapter talking about zoning. So it's just kind of a housekeeping thing, and at the same time move the appeal process for planning commission into the zoning code. So we are recommending that you recommend to the City Council that Chapter 17.02 administrative provisions be rescinded and replaced with the new one, and adopt a wholly new Chapter 17.03 zoning. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, are there any questions at this time, staff, regarding this item?
I assume the whole purpose is to simplify?
Yes, that's exactly what we're
It's
trying to
always
do. Yeah, the general appeal chapter is a big mess, and it's incomplete, and they're also taking out the whole two-tiered thing for appeals that we ran into on some of the appeals from the Planning Commission's decision, where they look at it and should we have a public hearing or not. So they want to get rid of that provision in there. And I can't resist once I'm in a chapter and I start looking at it. I've got to, fix it up a bit. So,
And
so they're
cleaning,
doing,
cleaning house nicely.
yeah, chapter by chapter. So that's the upshot of that.
Okay, this is a public hearing. I don't see anyone. So, open it up for discussion, if any.
Seems
Okay,
good to me.
Mr. Cooper, would you care to make a motion?
I move that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution recommending the City Council rescind and replace Chapter 17.02 Administrative Provisions and adopt a new Chapter 17.03 Zoning.
Okay, I will second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the motion carried. So with that, we have, do any commissioners have anything they would like to bring up? Please, Carol.
Yes, there is a candidates forum tomorrow night at Yountville. It's for the Napa Valley candidates that are whole valley. It's at 6 p.m. at the Yountville Community Center.
Okay,
But it's interesting.
Thank you for reminding me. I had that card at home and I completely forgot.
Okay, you have any director's report?
Just that we have 2 design review applications for 2 new homes at your next meeting, and they'll be the first test of the newly adopted residential design guidelines. So you have a copy of those.
Yeah, this is nice. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, I thought it turned out pretty nice, and so that's something we're going to be handing out at the counter. We also posted it on our website so people can find it. And so I told Eric that he's going to be the first one to write a staff report, with these design guidelines in mind. So it'll be
Okay,
interesting.
Good.
So that's all I have to share.
Okay. With that, I will make a motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting to our next regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting of Wednesday, May 14th, 2014. Second?
I second.
Okay. Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Record
the
time.
record?
I think so.